So you want to save money, but somehow every month all that hard-earned money seems to be disappearing into thin air? Well, at least you have the right mindset. And there's a big chance your money is going towards one of the categories we're gonna talk about in this video. Hey, welcome to The Clever Dad. My name is Jasper, and today we're talking about the 5 expenses that keep you poor. Or at least keep you from saving more. So the problem with these expenses is that they are so common, you are probably not even aware of just how much money you spend on them. Because most of us will spend money on one or all of these expenses, and that's fine. I just want to make you aware of just how much money you spend on them, and that may help you to cut down some of these expenses and save more. Oh, also, consider subscribing to the channel if you want to become part of the Clever family and be more clever with your money. So, again, no rocket science today, no getting rich quick scheme here. So if that's what you're looking for, then better find another channel. But what I am going to do is give you some hands-on tips and tools that you can start using today to cut some of these expenses and start saving more. Or at least become aware of what you're spending is. So what I would like you to do is take a pen and paper, and for every one of these 5 categories, write down from the top of your head how much you think you spend on it every month. And then at the end of the video, go and check it out, what your actual spend is on those categories, and then let me know in the comments down below how big the difference is between what you thought you were spending and how much you actually spend. Because I'm very curious. For me, it was quite surprising, to be honest. Okay, let's jump right into it. Number 1 is streaming services. And with that, I mean subscriptions to Netflix, HBO, you name it, Disney, Prime Video. I mean, there are so many of these streaming services, video on demand, and it's more and more popular. And that's understandable. I mean, I have subscriptions myself, because in the end we spend a lot of time just watching it. So what I would like you to do is go and check how many of these subscriptions you have, and then just evaluate for yourself. Do you use all of them? Do you actually watch all of them? And just go and check how much you spend, because I did some research and I want to show you something. On this telecompetitor website, it shows that last year, and this may be a bit of pandemic effect, but still, that the average number of streaming services per household increased to 4 last December, compared to 3 almost a year earlier. And the average spend increased from $38 a month in last April to $47 last December. So just think about it, 47, and that's for 4 of these subscriptions. So that's really quite a bit of money. If you can cut down on that every month and then multiply that by 12, you can see how much you can actually save in a year. So what you can also do is, instead of having an individual plan, check with your friends, relatives, and if you take a family plan, you may be able to share your subscription, split the cost, and in the end you all get to watch it and you still get to save money. But there's another problem with streaming services. It's kind of a double-edged sword. It doesn't only take your money by paying for the subscription, it also consumes so much of your time. And if you would watch a bit less and actually use that time that you save to start some side hustle, you will create some additional income. So just also give that a thought. Okay, number 2, slightly related, because this is cable and cell phone plans. And again, everybody probably has one. You need one. I'm not telling you to just not have a cell phone or cable plan, but just consider if you really need that expensive plan that you have, because a lot of people have an unlimited cell phone plan and it's crazy the amount that you pay for it every month, right? It ranges from 30 to 100 a month that some people are paying for it. But just go look at the usage, because nowadays, do you really need all that unlimited data if you have Wi-Fi everywhere? It may be possible to just scale down your plan a bit and then again, start saving money. Number 3, and this one is a bit more tricky and may not be for everyone, and it may also depend on your personal situation, on the country you're in, because the third one is insurance. So I'm absolutely not saying you shouldn't have insurance, but it is a fact that, especially in the Western world, we are overinsured. We are paying a ton of money for a whole range of insurances that we may not actually need. We may need some of them, we may not need all of them. For example, in my case, we have insurance because we own a house, so I cannot skip that. I don't want to skip that. We need to have it. I drive a car, I need to have car insurance. That's all fine. But then there are all these other insurances that you can get nowadays and that are being promoted everywhere. You can get an insurance for your cell phone, you can get an insurance for your watch, for pretty much every piece of electronic you buy nowadays. And what I want you to do is just think for a moment before getting into an insurance plan for some of these things I just mentioned. Do you need it? Just consider if what you are trying to insure. So let's take the cell phone, for example. If you buy a new cell phone and you are wondering whether or not you should get that insurance. Because if you can cover the expense of a new phone just straight out of pocket, then in my opinion, it's not worth paying for insurance. But I'm going to make a separate video about that, where we can just also go over some numbers and show some examples of why it may actually be beneficial not to take insurance. But again, I'm not saying not to take any insurance that you really need for a house or a car, or if it's a legally required insurance, then definitely do get it. But just consider if all the insurances you have, if you need all of them. Okay, number 4, membership fees. And this is another of those tricky ones that you get into one of them at some point. Membership to a book club or a coffee club, or one of this memberships that you have nowadays where you are being sent something every month. I mean, there are so many crazy examples. Last week I heard somebody who had a membership on a sock club, so they would send him a box of socks every month. Instead of going to a shop and buy socks, you just pay a fixed fee every month and they send you socks. Write down the numbers and see how much you spend on it for a year, and then compare that to how much you would be paying if you just go to a shop or order some socks online. So go and look at your statements and see what type of memberships you have, how much you pay for them, and do you actually use them. Okay, and number 5, the last one for today, coffee to go, takeaway coffee. I mean, I love coffee. I used to buy takeaway coffee all the time. It's different coffee than you would drink normally. It has a nice flavor, just the whole experience. But how much do you pay for it? And especially if you look at that number for, let's say, for a month, it may be worth to consider. Because what you can do instead is buy a thermos mug and take coffee from home. Or what we did, because at some point my wife and I were just thinking of actually how much we are spending every single month on takeaway coffee for the both of us. So what we did is we just wrote it down, and that blew our minds. We didn't realize just how much money we spent. So what we did instead, we bought a nice coffee machine. So the initial investment for the machine would cover, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months of takeaway coffee. But after those 2-3 months, when you have earned back the investment by not buying takeaway coffee but taking coffee from home, the following months and years that you have that machine and you buy less takeaway coffee, you are just saving money. So with all these tips in this video, I'm not telling you not to spend any money. The goal is to just be more considerate of what you spend, see where you can cut some expenses, and just be more aware of what actually matters, what you enjoy most in life, and then spend money on that and save the rest for other things. So I hope you liked the video. Let me know in the comments what your saving goal is and how much money you can save with the tips in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.